Hey, welcome back to part 2 of the brake mission. I want to essentially strip down all this here, like the brake disc, get the caliper off, and replace the backing plate as well, because that's all completely beaten up. I decided, since we're going to be doing this job anyway, I have a new set of backing plates to put on, so we might as well do this properly, and we can check a couple of other things at the same time. Like the wheel bearing and everything, just make sure that's all good. Re-grease them and all that and clean things up a bit. First thing we need to do is remove these little bolts here. They're Allen bolts, and they hold the disc on. These ones are actually quite loose, which is sort of worrying, because I think they're meant to be torqued up quite high, because this is what holds your brake disc on. And this particular bolt here came out with no effort at all. They're actually quite small bolts, but as you can see here, this one, somebody has attacked it in the past. It's quite beaten up, and the inside of it is wrecked. So a good thing I've got some new ones on order as well, because we'll just replace these. These sit flush on the brake disc, so they'd be an absolute nightmare to get out if you rounded out that inside hole there. You'd be basically drilling the thing out at that stage. Yep, that one's very loose as well. No effort at all. Yes, I'd like to have a word with whoever put this on originally. And again, it's in the same state of disrepair as the other one. It's been absolutely battered by something in the past. Suffice it to say, these two bolts are for the bin. Yes, the next thing we're going to do here is this is the speedometer cable here. Now we need to get this dust cap off as well, but we want to just pull the end of the speedometer cable out, back out, because we need to get access to the wheel bearing, and this speedo cable's held on by a tiny little clip there, so I'm just going to get something to sort of loosen that out, and then I'll be able to pull it back out the other side. Now, surprise, surprise, there's supposed to be a tiny clip on the speedo cable, the end of the speedo cable here, but is it there? Of course it isn't. So we're going to maybe have to try and get one of those somewhere. But anyway, so because there's no clip there, normally you'd prise it off with a little screwdriver, but in this case our clip's gone, so I'm just going to push the end of it in, and I need to reach behind here and just get the other end of the speedo cable, so it just kind of withdraws inside the wheel bearing. There we go. Yeah, not too far. Right, so now we can take the dust cap off. Right, just going to knock these little retaining pins out. We've got replacement ones of these as well. Anyway, we're just going to try and pull the pads out next. Pliers helps here. When in doubt, double the pliers. Actually, I have a better idea. Yeah, genuine vice grips, except no imitations. Well, that wasn't that hard. Right, I have here a lovely selection of brake pads. Guess which one is the new one? Yeah, the middle one? Yes, you guessed right. Now, to be honest, this one that came off the red van, it's actually in pretty good nick. Like it's worn down a bit in places, but I mean that's to be expected. But there's still plenty of material left on it. The new one obviously is, yeah, that's fine. This one here is this came off the green van, and you can see, you know, even compare it to the one that came off the red van. It's like, yeah, it's absolutely worn down to a nub. So yeah, that's what it looks like if you just never replace your brake pads. But also, what we were missing as well on the red van was these backing plates. You can see where the piston impacts them here. So I have new ones of these as well. These are off the green van. But I'm going to put these this plate in behind the new brake pad. Put a little bit of grease on both sides of it, just to, yeah, it's like a little copper grease, and then slot it back in. But yeah, you can see where those little tabs kind of locate on the piston, yeah. So that's that's a selection of brake pads of varying quality. Okay, we're just going to try the bottom bolt. That one came out. Yeah. She's out. Just going to get this bolt out here. Top bolt is actually different than the bottom one, so you can't mix them up. This one has a shoulder. The top bolt has a shoulder on it, and it physically won't go in the bottom. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do is put a little bit of anti-seize on these before I put them back in. So just if I'm ever doing this job again, I won't have this hassle of breaking them loose. But yeah, you can see there that's the bolt with the shoulder on it. So that's the top bolt. Anyway, so the next thing we're going to do is pull this brake line out of the way here, the tab out and pull it out of its locator there, and then we should be able to lift the caliper out of the way and get the disc off then. Right, sometimes it can be fiddly to get these off, this brake pipe up. So I'm just going to bend this little metal locator tab here. Bend it a bit down, just kind of get it level. It looks like it's been bent previously. Just getting it straight, I think, helps a lot. So try and pull it out. That's better. It's helping. Now, I reckon if we try and undo the bottom bolt here now, we'll be able to pull the caliper away. There we go. Out. Yeah, it's important to just hold the caliper up here a bit, because you do not want to bend this pipe. It's quite fragile. So we'll just leave it to rest there on the wheel while we work away here. So we've got good access here now. We can start taking more things apart. Now, we should be able to get the disc off. Fresh pair of gloves as well is important here. You don't want to get any grease on the disc. Right. Now, we need to get the hub off. Okay, so in order to get the hub off here, we need to take a couple of things out first. There's this clamp and there's a hub retaining clip behind it. So and that also holds in the outer wheel bearing. The hub retaining clip is held in by a 6mm Allen bolt. So we just need to loosen that off a bit. And then, yeah, that should be enough. So then we need to use our adjustable spanner here, or as they refer to it on the other side of the Atlantic, a crescent wrench. Now I think on this, it's actually, this is to the left here, so just start turning that. It's important not to get any dirt or anything in here. I'm probably going to repack all this with grease anyway, but you don't want to get any kind of little bits of grit or other stuff, or all the dead spiders and their meals that seem to be living in here. I should be able to get that off by hand now. This is quite a fine thread on this here. Now, let's pop that in somewhere safe. And then there is a little clip in here which we can get off with our screwdriver, I believe. Yeah. It helps when everything's like totally greased up. Yeah, I think we can get the hub off here. You can see the wheel bearing in there as well. There we go. There it comes. Now, put that somewhere safe as well. There. Yeah, so we'll clean up all these parts anyway before we put them back on. Put fresh grease onto them. Right, so there's 3 nuts here holding on the backing plate. And yeah, look at the absolute state of this. Yeah, it's... I can see by looking at these nuts I'm going to have fun getting them off. So yeah, we'll just need to, I suppose, just go in and tackle them. Right, we've cleaned these nuts up a bit here, so I'm going to try and break them off. Well, that was surprisingly easy for the first one. Only the rest will be as easy. Yeah, important. I think I've probably said this before with nuts. It's very important to get a very kind of a level, like straight shot at it. Okay, that one is coming off too. Will we be as lucky with the third, folks? Yeah, well, that was a surprise. Not expecting these to come off that easily. These are kind of unusual. They're little like M7 nuts. They're quite shallow. All right, that's it off. Right, we just finished on the other side here. Got all the stuff off. I had more trouble getting this caliper off. I think that the brake pads were very stuck on. So yeah, the piston might be a bit sticky in this on this particular caliper, so we'll need to look into that just to see what we can do there. The other thing as well, the nuts for the backing plate were a lot harder to get off on this side. One of them in particular, I had to put a smaller socket onto it and beat it and really hit it very hard to get it off. And also I noticed that someone has been here before and sheared off the third bolt for the backing plate in the axle here. So we'll have to drill the remains of that one out and tap a new hole for it. Luckily, the hole goes all the way through to the other side, so it's not like just recessed like these ones here. So we'll have to order 3 new bolts for all of these, and actually probably 3 new ones for the other side as well. We might as well replace those 2. Now we have the old and the new backing plate side by side here. You can see the terrible condition of the old one. I suspect this is probably actually the original one that was on the van, given the state that it's in. You'll notice a couple of things There's some differences here on the new one. The holes are actually in the wrong place. From what I've read, you do need to modify these backing plates a bit, so we'll need to drill 3 holes in here. I think on European vans, that's what the situation is. Like there's you have to, the holes are in a different position. So I think we can use the old one maybe as a template and sort of mock it up a bit on the van. But yeah, that's a job for another day. We enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next part of the brake saga. Bye bye.